game here. There we go. Alright guys, so here we go. The fourth and final game now between Spring and Vinchester. After that catastrophic game from Spring, the score is now 2-1 to Vinch as we hop onto the hamburger, the Royale with cheese, and finish up with this fourth and final game. Up to the northeast of the map, we've got Vinch playing as the Mongols, and down to the southwest in the blue, we've got Spring playing as the Mongols as well. Both these guys going for the same civilization this time around, for the first time in a while, I think. Oh no, that last game was a Turk war, but that was the only game so far. This game going to be Mongol Mirror, and Hamburger is a fun map, that's for sure. So I think there are more questions in the chat. I'm really trying to watch the chat more today. I think I'm doing all right, actually. Let's see. Yeah, if you wanna say something for me to read, just chuck my name in the sentence, and I'll be able to spot it a little easier. It'll highlight it for me in the Twitch chat there. And I think with that, I should be able to answer more questions and things. Spring, aggressive as ever, killing a villager, of course. Down she goes, nearly 1 health remaining, and she's dead. Spring, nearly losing his scout there, but he will get out just in time. And again, Vinchester here, losing a villager very early. Or not, sorry, not again. In fact, Spring lost a villager very early in that second game. This time around, Vinchester's going to lose one. But it is possible to recover from that, and we saw Spring do just that as well. Yeah, I like this map. Hamburger, it's a fun map, and it can be really slow-paced, or it can be really super high and aggressive. It's a tough one, and it all comes down, really, at the start on who can tower this middle wood and control that. But Spring, being the sneaky beaky badger that he is, with a little bit of a sneak. Modzinks, I'm getting my summer tan on. I wish. I get my summer burn on. I've gone out in the sun twice, and I've come back red as a lobster twice. I typically don't burn too easily, but yeah, this summer's been pretty brutal so far, and other than that, I don't go outside, so unfortunately, no summer tan for me, just summer redness, and then fade back to translucent white. Only kidding. Yeah, the thing is, we don't have a garden. I'd love to sit out in the garden and enjoy the summer and enjoy the weather. There's nowhere for me to go and sit, unless I want to go and walk around our crappy sort of neighborhood and get the burn on, which is sad. But yeah, I love going out in the sun and going out and enjoying the summer with a bit to drink and stuff. But without a garden, it's disappointing. I feel like I'm boxed in to a very warm flat. Anyway, up to the north side, we got Spring with this sneak, and it's a beautiful sneak. It's a couple of militia coming out here, and Vinch is not going to expect this. It's actually really cool that he's doing this. At the moment, Vinch is spending the time to push these deer in towards his TC, so it's going to take him even longer, really, to get this, to scout this, and by that time it could be too late. He also is doing a dock, which is something that Spring will neglect to do. So Spring almost all in this strategy, almost taking a very big risk. Going to do a 5 militia rush, and he's going to try and hit these villagers on the wood line. Now Spring here, he could try and do a fast feudal, and he could try and get man-at-arms out, but I think it's too risky. So instead, the drush coming in, and I think he's like, well, you know what, let's not bother building towers. Let's just rush the wood line and stop him from building them anyway. And that's kind of cool. Big Boy John asked if I'm planning on doing a vlog of the apartment. Nah, I don't want to do a vlog of the apartment. Hopefully we're going to buy a house next year, and I'll definitely do a vlog of that. We'll probably end up living somewhere very rusty. But in time, we'll do it up and we'll make it beautiful. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I'll maybe do that when I move house. I tend to move a house a lot since I was a student, but now I'm kind of settled down a little more for a while. G. Claire, that's what's my favorite beer? Ooh, Leffe, I like Leffe a lot. I like Hogarden. I like a lot of like craft beers as well. It's hard to say. Anyway, Spring here, coming in on this wood line, actually walling up. This is a beautiful play by him. Really stopping those villagers from gathering as much as possible. He's going to try and wall them in completely, bringing in the militia here to force them back. It's like, get back! Get back to the wood line. I need to wall you. And this is beautiful. Vinch here, still in the Dark Age, not clicking up to the Feudal Age just yet. He does have Loom, though, making it a little easier to defend. And it looks like Spring nearly going to lose that forward villager there since he does not have loom. And indeed he will. Oh, trying to wall it in, but not going to be enough. That's a lot of militia. Spring pumping those militia out. He is like on 7 militia right now. I love Spring, man. He's such a great... Well, I say he's such a great player. That last game didn't really show much greatness, but this is really fun and really fantastic. Vinch going to try and wall, and I think Spring might do a little bit of smack talk there. Since Vinchester's walled up a lot this game and got himself a win from that. And I think this whole wall thing has come down to the fact that Vinchester consistently chooses arena. But this is cool. So far, though, Spring only killing 1 villager, and so far losing 5 units to various things. His villager going down, some militia going down. And with Vinch getting up to feudal here, expect a tower, I think, somewhere along the lines. And with this wall coming up at the back as well, I fear that Spring may have bitten off a little more than he can chew. He has committed himself to this drush in a big way with, what, 7, 8 villagers out? Sorry, 8 militia out. That hurts. And the thing is for Spring here, he's got to accept. He has to accept that walling is the counter to drushing. You know, every player will wall if a drush comes in. Palisade walls are the counter to this build, and he's just overcommitted, I think, to the militia here. He'll try and maybe do this here. He's going to end up losing this one as he tries to run around, and maybe he'll bust his way through this wall, but not before not before Vinch makes it up to the feudal age here. On the water, yeah, no galley coming out, but he has got 3 fishing ships, so that's a lot of extra food coming in for Vinch that Spring simply doesn't have. He's taking stone, so of course we're expecting to see some towers coming up here and there, and honestly, this is looking like Vinch is in an awkward... Sorry, Spring's in an awkward position. There's the tower on the front there. There you go. Expected that one. And Vinch will probably make another tower very soon. I think Spring wanted to attack this tower here, but maybe a little risky. He's still making militia, and he'll do man-at-arms once he hits the feudal age. Now, the reason why he didn't make a dock is because if he docked, he would have been slower to do the drush, and it wouldn't have worked as well. And I say worked as well, he has only still killed 1 unit. But once he gets man-at-arms done, these guys will get a big attack bonus against buildings, and they'll tear those buildings down quite quickly, these walls and such. So Spring trying to pile that pressure on, trying to keep himself in there, and of course, Vinchester's going to do everything he can to stop this coming in, and easily done. Just a single house going up behind this, and Spring needs to follow this through with some archers, really, if he wants to make this work. But every single game so far, he's played super high aggression. I think what he should do is focus fire the lumber camp, actually. I know it has 1,000 health, which is more than the wall and the house, but if he killed the lumber camp, then Vinchester would have to build another one, and then he'd actually end up blocking these villagers in anyway. So I feel like that would be a better play for him to make. Attack the lumber camp, take it down, force him to build another one. Vinchester as well, counterattack coming in, a single galley out, he'll realize that Spring has no fishing ships. And this looks like it's GG for Spring at this stage of the game. Vinch here, actually not going to sneak through, he's just going to build a stone wall to prevent Spring getting through on this right side. And Vinch with a stone wall on the left, preventing him getting in as well. Maybe you could argue that Vinch's playstyle is boring. Some people would say that. But in my opinion, he's doing what he's got to do to win. And Spring here is just playing almost stupid in the way that he's doing this. He's building docks now, though. And I think he realizes that he's going to have to take some water control here if he wants to make this work. And whilst, yeah, Spring's play is enjoyable, you're right, Mayblock. Spring's play is really enjoyable. Maybe not the wisest. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, as long as it works, and that's what really matters. He's through as well, but not before Vinchester can build another house. It's just house after house after house, and Spring's going to keep battering his way through as best he can. But yeah, obviously, Doc coming out, he's going to try and take the water here and prevent Vinch from being able to fish, but Vinch moving out to the corner of the map with a transport, he'll build up over there as well, and Spring's just going to keep piling in the militia here, all the man-at-arms even, to take these houses down. Will the tower come up before the house goes down? Probably, since Vinchester brings now a repairer to the scene, and takes this house, or prevents this house from going down so quickly anyway. So interesting play. I think that tower will keep Spring out for good. And this is the thing as well, this is the funny thing, Spring has got this left half of Vinchester's hamburger. He's got that locked down. but there's no resources here. Vinchester, all of his resources are on the right-hand side. All of it. It's all over this side. He doesn't need to worry about the left side. He can give up that side. It's not like Spring is denying any resources here. That's kind of a big deal. Spring, though, is denying the wood in the middle, but Vinch has already moved out to the edge to take the wood over there. And with that tower coming up, there's no way that Spring's going to push in through this house and tank that tower up on the right side. But Spring, yeah, definitely breaking a lot of meta in this series so far. Oh, MBL's in the chat as well. Where are you? I just saw your name in the chat, MBL. Let me see what you have to say. Now Spring can go around. He has 3 bills by his TC. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, Spring here attempting to attack at the north. Vinchester here, not quite as prepared to wall up. You'd have to bring a villager over to quickly wall around this mill. And if this is the thing, Spring's got a lot of power here. 7 men-at-arms, very strong. But more quick walls, And I think Spring is going to be so pissed right now. He's going to be so mad. So mad. Anyway, Spring's surely now going to be making a transport fairly soon to get out to the edge of the map. I guess there's no real rush, but ultimately he's going to have to do that. Oh, there it is. There's the transport. So he has got another plan up his sleeves, and that is just more aggression. Because that's all that he seems to be doing these games. He's playing so super aggressively. We got a tower coming up. We got galleys protecting it, and Spring's going to just go ahead now and take advantage of this water control to drop these units across. Actually, fantastic play. And I think Vinchester was planning on going up to the castle age. In fact, he might just do it. He's got 1 food away until he reaches castle here. And he's doing it. He's going up to castle. I actually don't agree with that decision. Spring breaking through. It's almost like an omen here. As soon as he clicks up to castle, Spring finally breaks through those walls. Yeah, looking a little bit worrying for him, to say the least. But it looks like got fletching here, so allowing these towers to do a little bit more damage from further range. And these men-at-arms looking to pressure this as well. But yeah, like I say, Spring going to find that transport actually on the water. But the fact that he's got water control is actually very good for him. And he actually do a lot with this water to, example, just get these villages across. But we've seen in the past, Vinchester going up to the castle age and just Spring applying relentless pressure. It does work. It can work. And he's now going to go out to the edge of the map to try and butcher those villagers that have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Apparently Spring's TC is idle. I don't see that, but actually his food income is very poor at the moment. Just 5 farms here, which is not quite enough. But he does have a couple of fish as well, so probably actually just fine. But yeah, Man-at-Arms going out to the right side of the map because he knows that Vinchester is out here. So this Man-at-Arms going to be able to maybe find a couple of vills. Vinchester going to try and wall his villagers in, maybe by building a house here and keeping them in the back. But 1 vill will go down. Still, though, Vinch keeping that KD in his favor, 10 kills to 8 losses. And even after all this time, Vinchester is still kind of ahead massively in villager count, but Spring here able to do a bit more damage. He will find another villager kill, it seems, on this right side and keeping the pressure on over there. Whilst on the right side here, sending his villagers across. I was expecting almost an archery range from him, but there's too many towers from Vinch. There's towers all over the place, making it very difficult for Spring to push in here and do much damage. Spring gonna be able to break down this palisade, and there really is now nowhere for Vinchester to run. Like, literally nowhere. He is either gonna have to fight, or he is gonna have to die. That's his 2 options, and he's not gonna be able to do that. So, although Vinch with that huge villager lead just a moment ago, very quickly losing them as Spring here butchers these villagers in the corner of the map, and he should go back for more as well because he can get them. Of course, finding a couple of vills here and there, maybe be able to kill this one as well. Nicely done. That villager there going down before he was even hit. I love that, so I find it kind of funny. He's also holding on to the water, and although Vinch does have a second dog, his first one will go down, and this transport ship continuing to send more and more and more men-at-arms across. And just look at that, 36 vills here, but oh wow, it looks like, oh geez, yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like Spring just lost a lot of villagers. I was watching his villager count just drop really suddenly. He actually lost 5 villagers here on the front to this tower. I have no idea what he's doing. Not paying enough attention again, it seems. I think he will keep that transport alive. Wow, with 4 HP remaining. And going to finish off butchering these villas right in the corner of the map. Not a single villager remains for Vinch on the far right. And look at those scores. They're really neck and neck right now as well. Spring giving us some very, very entertaining games this series and doing it fairly well as well. He is 5 villages behind at this stage, which is not too bad. Obviously, you would be completely even if you didn't lose the 5 villages on this wood line. And I think Spring may be playing a little bit dangerously, chopping the wood in the middle of the map now that Vinch has Bodkin Arrow on this tower. But my goodness me, what a fantastic game again from Spring and also from Vinch as well. These guys are playing an awesome set. This is just so enjoyable. Oh my god! Oh my god! So Spring might be 5 villages behind, but geez, he's got 10 fishing ships as well. I didn't even notice that. Totaling 40 eco units versus Vinch's 36. So Spring actually has the eco advantage here as he fishes with 10 fishing ships on the water. And I think he's preparing himself now for the castle age, where I expect he will drop a castle on the center wood line and repel these towers. Building more towers still though, but there you go. He's got the food now. Just needs a bit of gold. These guys walking miles back and forth between this gold line. But he should get the gold in just a moment. And I think needs to get a market and a blacksmith or something as his second feudal building. And then he'll go castle. So, interesting play. And oh my goodness me. Spring, yeah, just getting a loom. Took him a while, didn't it? But like I say, balls of steel on Spring right here. Really balls of steel. Vinch here, though, going to find the fishing ships. This is going to be pretty nasty. They're going to go down very quickly as that super hot fire starts super hot from Vinch here. Spills onto those fishing ships, causing them a lot of troubles. And Spring now going to be trying to micro his army away. And it's funny because he called Vinchester such a pro for being able to micro his Janissaries away from the light cavalry. But what Spring is doing here is essentially the same thing, microing his galleys away from the fires. But the fires proved to be too strong, and what were once 10 noble fishing ships has been reduced to just 2, and they're fleeing for their lives. Spring here, great map visibility though, good map control. Obviously he's got the outside of the map locked down. After losing those fish, that is a very, very costly loss for him. But he is still planning on going castle sometime today. I'm still waiting for those buildings to come up. Maybe he's just reluctant to do it. But yeah, I think there's the market. And blacksmith he's got, so yeah, there you go. He'll be up to castle in a moment, a long way behind Vinch. And with that castle age upgrade, Vinch has been able to re-secure the water control. And that's kind of a big deal, you know, that's huge. Because now Spring can't get back out to the edge. But he's not done yet. Those 3 galleys actually still alive. I didn't notice that. And he'll kill a villager, he'll take down the transport, and he's just going to be a general nuisance. He is being such a pain in the ass for Vinch right now. You guys are loving this, aren't you? I'm loving this. You guys better be loving this. And jeez, so many fantastic games out of this tournament so far, and we're still so early days. So TEC for Vinch coming out at the top side of the map here. He's finally getting that up and running, and it's been a while, but he's getting his TCs up, and he's 10 villages ahead now. Spring has no fishing ships to compensate, and Spring's still making a couple of galleys here and there as well. I don't know if that's going to be enough though. There's still quite a few fires here, so it's a bit of a pain. And for Spring, these men-at-arms, whilst they are giving him good scouting at the edge, they're not going to be able to hit this TC, sadly, since Vinch can just garrison inside and just basically protect himself very easily. Out come the galleys. A little bit of a waste of resource from Spring there. They're going to go down instantly, and these docks are probably going to fall, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, they're getting repairs, which is all well and good. But that's costing Spring a little bit of wood, and I don't know if he's actually managing to keep them alive or not. Looks like they are actually gaining in health, so he should be okay there with just 1 repairer on each dock. Very well played, actually. They're quite a genius move, to say the least. And another repairer up on this dock as well. He wants to retake the water, it seems, as best he can. Alright, so Spring then up to the Castle Age as well. It's taken him a long time. Vinchester now just doing Wheelbarrow, 35 minutes of game time. And there's that castle being dropped as well. Spring, he's got the stone, but he took so long to get to the Castle Age. Spring needs to drop the castle on this right-hand side. Or maybe get the castle up faster than Vinch on the left side, but he's too slow to react to that one. He'll have to put it up on the right, or maybe even out on the edge of the map as well. You're asking how Spring has 2 TCs in the feudal age? He doesn't. He only has the 1. Vinchester has 2, and Vinchester is in purple. He is in the Castle Age. So yeah, War Galley coming in from Vinch, so looks like he wants to hold the water control down. Vinch is, Fire Ship's coming out from Spring as well now though, so he should be able to retake a little bit here. Both these guys continuing to fight. Fearless Floor asks, what map is this? This is Baltic, Fearless Floor. It's not really, it is Hamburger. It is Hamburger. Oh, well, Nightbot correcting me. As soon as I said it's Hamburger, Nightbot says, it's not Zero, it's fucking Baltic. Oh, too funny. Anyway, castle coming up on this right side. So yeah, I mean, he had to put it there, basically. And with that castle, he could actually break down this wall and get through. He can actually stop these towers as well, push them away quite easily. So this is pretty solid. The castle on the left also pretty solid. On this right side, the man-at-arms, he's going ham. Rather lackluster, to say the least. Vinch gonna be able to keep himself nice and safe, of course. And once again, water control here for Spring. Not going to come to fruition yet. He's actually got a bunch of units on the right side, but fires have such low line of sight that they easily get outrun, and they're a real pain in the ass to use. Anyway, on this right side, another castle from Spring, and he's not messing around, is he? I think he could have gotten away with doing that a little bit closer, actually. We have a quick look through the fog of war. You can see that Vinchester can only see up to here, and yet Spring's built his castle all this way back. He is building it outside the lumber camp, though, which is nice. But Spring could have built the castle right here, and actually had it in range of that TC, which would have been, in my opinion, a lot better, to say the least. Anyway, what else is going on? On the water, Spring's still looking fairly good, but there's quite a lot of war galleys out here, butchering those man-at-arms on the shoreline, and Spring's falling pretty far behind. Bendover wants to know what Vinchester's idle time is, and oh my god, it's huge, isn't it? Look at that. Vinchester with 3 hours of idle time in a 40-minute game, and Spring with just 1 hour idle time. So, yeah, although Vinchester has had this huge villager advantage for a while, he hasn't got, again, 3 times the idle time, which is something we saw earlier on in this series as well, so kind of mirroring that a little bit. Surprising, really. I'm not sure where that idle time's particularly coming from. I'm guessing all the villagers on this right side that were running away. But now, though, Spring gonna lose this fight on the water, and he's got that castle up on the right side as well. The castle should have been closer, in my opinion, though. That's really wasteful, but he will at least secure the stone, so maybe he could do another one. On this water fight, obviously, Vinch has easily won that. We didn't need to even watch that to know the outcome. And Spring losing grasp on this game, I feel, as it goes on. He's still only on the 1 TC. He seems unwilling to ever progress and make another, but just more castles, it seems. There's another one, bringing up to a total of 3 castles now. Spring just castle dropping all over the place, denying the wood from Vinch on the front. But, you know what? That is probably not going to work out too well. Vinch can go in, he can counter the castles with Trebs, and I think Spring might be overcommitting to the Castle Age here, to be honest with you. Petard in a transport ship can be a demolition ship. That's a nice idea, Zio Pepe. I feel like if you put a Petard in a transport, it should actually explode like a demolition ship when it goes down, but sadly it does not. But that would be insane if it did. If it did, that's a new one. Sound like a southern Texan. If it did. Oh jeez, I actually have no idea what a southern accent sounds like. I just assume it sounds like that. Anyway, Vinch is up to Imp, and I think that is the best play to make right now. He can counter these 2 castles in the middle of the map with a couple of Trebs, and there's nothing Spring can do to stop him. You're kidding me. Spring does still not have the fletching upgrade, quite rightly pointed out by M. Frisbee there. Yeah, kind of unusual, because that extra range is going to help him out to take down these towers and such, but really he's just doing that to hold down the middle and stop Vinch from gathering the wood, because he's actually got pretty good map control on the outside. Although I say that, he's letting Vinch chop the wood over here. Tank Monkey 90 reckons that Southerners don't sound like that. My bad. Well, Wetfish pointing out, I do actually speak, you're right, Wetfish, you are right. So maybe I've just got, well, I do speak American, I just don't speak that accent, that action, that dialect. It's not my dialect, I'm afraid. But it really looks like it's GG for Spring here. How did Vinchester get 20 villages ahead? Asked Jaguar Memo. Well, in this situation, Vinch had that second town center up a lot earlier. He's also got another castle coming up. Whoa, a drop here from Spring with these Magadai. There's no way he's going to stop this castle, though. There's too many villagers there. There's too many villagers and too little time. They're all going to die to the castle, sadly, in a horrendous castle accident. But Spring here, yeah, he took too long to get his second TC up. In fact, he still doesn't have a second. Oh, he does, sorry, on the right side here. So as a result, Vinch has been able to keep the villager count higher at the moment. Still Spring trying to raid, but it's not happening now. Vinch is in, and those Trebs are coming out. Treb here on this left-hand side, going to take down this castle. There's no question about that. And that's going to be pretty horrific. And obviously this castle as well, going to go down very shortly as well. Yeah, Kingle of the Jung reckons this is a sloppy game by Spring. You could argue it's sloppy, or you could just argue that he's trying to play differently. And he's played really weirdly these games, and it has worked. I mean, he has got 2 games here. Sorry, 1 game. Wait, no, never mind. Maybe it hasn't worked. Spring is still playing for the draw, remember. It's 2-1 to Vinch. And it looks like Vinch is going to be able to close this one out with a 3-1 victory, which is actually going to be really good for him, because that's going to put him really in a good position on the Gold League scoreboard, on the league table. Spring, though, actually going up to Imp as well, but he's way too slow. I don't think he'll be able to protect these castles here. Vinch, with with another Treb out here, are going to be hammering away at this castle on the right side. Yeah, that castle's going down, Spring. Spring pulling all the villagers off the line, as Resonance would say, to repair this castle and hold out until he reaches the Imperial Age, by which time Vinchester's probably going to have another Treb and going to be able to take it out. But for now, yeah, that castle's going back up to full health, surprisingly, slowly but surely. But yeah, Vinch is going to be able to get the one on the south, and Spring eventually will run out of stone as well. So I don't think delaying this is going to work. Yet another Treb. 3 castles, 3 Trebs. Vinchester knows what's up, and he's going to take this one out. And Spring, look at that stone just disappearing. He had like 200 stone just less than 30 seconds ago. Now it's all gone, and the villagers go back to work. It's like, okay, we've done our job, boys. We go back to work here. But still, Spring, way too slow. Way too slow as the second Treb comes out, and it should deploy any second now. Those castles are going down. Geronimo, as Spring just buys as much stone as he can. At this point, when you're at the position of buying stone so that you can repair your 3 castles from the enemy's trebuchets, it's basically GG. It's basically over. And as Tilbardagar in the chat says, lol, to a 48-minute double bit axe. Yeah, Spring here, falling flat on his face this time around. Actually, no, he is taking stone over here on the right side. If only Vinchester knew, he could get so many kills over there. But down goes the castle on the left. The castle on the right, yeah, don't expect that to stay up for too long either. Spring, gonna try and get a Treb perhaps, but it doesn't matter. It's over for him, and it's GG for him. Spring there saying in the chat he prefers to play fun games, and he is certainly right. He definitely gave us some very fun games there. I don't really know. To be honest with you, Spring there saying I shouldn't let you wall. It was a big mistake to let Vinchester wall. And I think he's kind of right, because Spring here was unable to do enough damage, really. And Vinch was very easily able to clean up and sort things out there. Mostly just walling up and defending with towers and things like that. Spring, you could argue, just playing and sure, playing for fun, but playing in a way that's just not going to get him a victory. Maybe that shows. Maybe that's why Spring so far still doesn't have a single win under his belt so far this tournament. But so far, some interesting games, and I think he's got the potential to win the games. That's the thing. I do feel like Spring has the potential, especially in this series. I think he could have won, but he's playing for fun, and he's doing a good job of that. He's doing a good job of giving entertaining games. That's for sure. Just not doing a good job of getting the wins out of them, which is a shame, I suppose. So 3-1 to Vinch there. Well played by both, and some very, very enjoyable games for sure. And, you know, I'd go as far as to say as they were the most enjoyable games I've seen of the tournament so far as well. So there you go. Those games are going to be posted on the forums pretty soon. Now, we left the Riot versus MBL set